So what's up guys, welcome to my channel TechnoSam and I am Sam. Few days ago Apple released a bunch of software in their WWDC 2020 event. I sat through the whole process of the event, the whole keynote, so you don't have to, and I also installed the iPad OS beta version, developer beta version on my current iPad, so you don't have to either. So without further delay, let's get started. First of all, let's talk about some other special features that were introduced in iPadOS as well as iOS. So first feature is widgets, which is going crazy as nuts because widgets were there in Android OS since a long time, since decades from now. And honestly, when Apple introduced these widgets on the iPad and iOS, then some people started telling that Apple is actually copying Android and all. But I think that if you are copying a good thing from any other brand, then it is actually good. Why don't you should copy the positive things that other brands are doing so that people love your brand and they get more into your products? It's absolutely fine for me. So widgets, first important thing. Then also Apple introduced an app library, which is actually an app drawer, which you see in Android since ages. Also, if you dig into the process, you can actually see that the iPhones have an alphabetical order of arrangement of apps, so that you can actually go through each and every app just by selecting the first letter of its name. Also, there is a portion known as app library where you will get all the apps categorized in the own way that Apple decides to. But to me, that categorization is not kind of okay for me. I want to customize and categorize all the apps in different folders in different ways other than Apple. But honestly, in iPhone, that customization of the categorization is actually not available as of now. And also that app library feature is not there in the iPadOS 14. So keep that in mind. And the next portion of the UI change is known as the compact UI, which is actually a very good thing, and we actually wanted it in iPadOS and iOS since a long time. In the previous versions of iOS, you will actually see that when you enable CD or when any call or any voice call comes from WhatsApp, from Skype or any other normal voice call, it actually blanks the whole screen and actually shows you the notification instead of showing just a drop down menu, which we are actually seeing in Android since ages. So that thing is brought now into iOS and iPadOS. Siri is now just a small blob in the bottom of the screen, and the call and regular video call alerts are actually in the form of drop down menus. So that's definitely a good thing. The next thing is search. And honestly, in iPadOS, the new search is implemented in such a way that I actually feel that this search is now a lot more similar to the Spotlight search in the MacBook. Even, fun fact, you can actually hit Command Spacebar on your Mac to enable that search option. Also, I don't know how this search is actually implemented on iOS because I haven't downloaded the developer beta of iOS yet, and honestly, I will not do it. iPad is my go-to device for enabling any developer beta that Apple releases for the developer options. So that's one thing, new search. Also, the iMessages got some huge improvements. If I would say that iMessage is actually now a lot more similar to that of WhatsApp. You can now reply to inline chats. You can also change the DP of your groups in your own way by giving emojis and all. You can also pin your contacts and groups of your favorite or loved ones to the top of the list, and that thing is all available in now WhatsApp. And honestly, in India nobody uses iMessage, so that's good to have, but we don't have any use in India. Also, there is now Memoji. Every year Apple introduces new Memojis, new customizations, new face masks and all. Kind of okay stuff. I am not a big fan of Memoji, but it's there that you get more customizations on Memoji. There is now a Translate app, which is actually a very good move by Apple according to me, because many people who nowadays travel to many different countries, and personally me, I travel to Chennai a lot, so actually I can start a conversation with any other people who does not know my language, so I can basically do that. But honestly, the current Translate app just supports 11 languages, and most of the Indian languages are not there. In fact, those are only the international languages that are present there. So I think with the passage of time, Apple will actually introduce more and more languages on the Translate app. The next stop is Siri. I also told you what Siri is. Siri is now a lot more smaller. It now takes a little blob in the bottom of the screen, and also it is a lot more smarter. Just besides saying this is what I have found on web, it actually says a lot more conversation, and it actually knows a lot more answers when you can ask him or her such questions.
I'm pondering eternity. It's taking forever.
So that's actually a bonus for Siri, but honestly, I use Google Assistant. I don't use Siri at all. I immediately disable Siri in my macOS, and that's it. I don't love Siri. I hate Siri. And also now Safari has got a much more improved version. Apple actually claims that Safari can now load pages 50% faster than its most prominent competitor, which is the Chrome. That is a good move by Apple. And also a feature which was available in Chrome since decades now, it is also now available in Safari. That is Page Translate. Yeah, you can now translate pages directly into English or any other language of your choice. That is actually a lifesaver for me when I was giving the Chinese exam of my entrance. So in Chinese exam we actually get Google Documents, so actually I have to install Chrome for doing the page translation and giving the answer and giving answers to the question, but now I can directly do that native on Safari. So that's a good move by Apple. Also, car keys is now an enhanced feature in iOS and iPadOS. I don't know exactly if it is available in iPadOS, but in iOS it is obviously there. One important thing is that these cars are not the regular cars. The BMW, I don't remember the name. The Apple showcased a car which is the BMW one, which actually is coming to India in 2022, I guess, and that is the first car is going to have a car key feature. That means you can directly take your iPhone near the car lock and the lock will actually open. That's a very smart move by Apple. It's doing its thing with NFC and all, so that's actually okay, but I don't think Apple should take too long to introduce this feature to many cars other than only the BMW or premium ones. So that's a good move by Apple. Also, I think that all the cars should now have NFC feature in 2020, because it's not 2020, man. Everything has now NFC, and honestly, it's not that expensive technology. So more and more cars should actually have this feature. The next feature is improvements in the AirPods. As you know, AirPods are very well sounding headphones, and I honestly don't love AirPods because of its sound quality. Because the sound quality of AirPods, it's not as good as I expected, but to some people, I asked them, they told that it is very good in sound quality. I personally don't like it, but it's absolutely good to have it there. AirPods actually got a very crucial update, which is not available in AirPods Gen 1. It is only available in AirPods Gen 2 and the AirPods Pro. The most crucial feature that AirPods got is that if you are listening to your iPad via AirPods, and if you screen lock just the iPad and take your iPhone and you started listening to it, the connection will be seamless. In previous versions, you have to do one click, and now even that you don't have to do. So that's extra benefit for most of us. So that's important thing that AirPod got. And only one feature that AirPods Pro got is actually spatial audio. It's not actually available in any of the AirPods other than the AirPods Pro. AirPods Pro can mimic directly the home theater experience into your ears, so you don't have to go to a cinema hall to watch each and every movies. Fun fact. And also there is now another feature known as the app clips. App clips are very well featured. We are actually seeing this in Android since ages. App clip is actually a smaller version of a certain app which you might have installed or might not have installed into your phone, so that there are many of the apps you want to have, but you can't simply have all the apps that you want because of the storage limitations. So what Apple did is that Apple is now requesting developers to make a smaller version of their app, supposedly a light version of their app, and make them as app clips. That's why when you go to any certain position, when you need a certain feature of that certain app clips will arrive. It is less than 10 MB, so it will take less time to download, and you can take very good and handy feature of it. It will, as soon as you will download it, it will stay on your mobile for 30 days after using it, and it will go away simply. App clips is a very good move for iOS, especially because iOS apps are generally 200 or 300 MB in size. So that's a very good move by Apple. Also, another feature is privacy, which honestly every year Apple gives stress on privacy. That is kind of main feature of Android and iOS and any other Apple software. So I'm very good to see that, and I'm not amazed to see that this year Apple introduced some more privacy features into their iPadOS and iOS. So that's a very good move by Apple. And actually I will keep the whole article about the iOS 14 in the descriptions below, so you can go there and read the whole article by yourself. And one feature that you can find in iPad OS, which is not actually available in iOS, is the main feature of using the Apple Pencil. So if you have an Apple Pencil, you can simply take it down, scroll down like this, and you will get this new search, which is actually very similar to Spotlight search. And now let's search it something, and you can actually now use wherever you can type, you can now use the Apple Pencil for you to search. So let's type YouTube. YouTube. And you actually see that this is not recognizing my handwriting because it's actually like YouTube. Let's cross it like that. Also, this is a new feature of just crossing out the text like this. Also, you can try, let's try again. YouTube. It again took YouTube. So I think Apple needs to do some kind of AI and mathematics and some kind of that for actually enhancing the handwriting gestures in iOS. Let's write camera. CAMERA. It again took camera or something like that. No, it's not good. Let's try. Now it is giving like camera. Let's try clips. CLIPS. So now as you can see, clips actually got easily understand, and that's actually it. Even you go to notes section, you can actually do some pretty good artistic stuff. If you make some weird designs like this, which is actually not any precise, then you can actually hold it to make a perfect circle. Also, you can do this with squares and all. It will actually make a perfect square. Also, if you want to make a straight line, then it made it a straight line. So these are some of the things that you can actually find in iPadOS. Now with the Apple Pencil, this feature is known as the Scribble, and this is my best feature in iPadOS. And pretty much that's it. In video, I won't get so much time to discuss each and every feature of iOS 14, just the highlights and the main features. So you can go there. And also one important feature is that you can now change the video resolution from the iPad or iPhone camera app right from the camera app. That is actually a feature that was only available to the iPhones which have the A13 processor. Now you can actually get that feature to all the iPhones across the board. You can now change the camera and video resolutions right from the camera app on your iPhone. So I think these were some of the pretty good features or highlights of the iOS or iPadOS. By the way, the app library is not there in iPadOS, so I won't be able to show you that. But here, I downloaded the iPadOS developer beta on my iPad, and I got some weird bugs that nobody is actually talking about on the internet. So let's dig into it. First of all, when I am opening my iPad via the folio case, it's not actually folio case, it is actually produced by Amazon Basics. So I guess it is the go-to folio case for most of the people who are buying iPad. But a weird thing is happening here when I am going to unlock the folio case of the iPad. For a split second of delay, the iPad screen is turning, then going off, and then again turning, and it is performing as expected. I don't know why it is happening. I don't know if my camera will catch it or not, but for a split second it is happening. The screen turning on, then again going back to off, and then again turning. This is actually, I don't know if it is a bug or not. I will actually report this to Apple, and hopefully they fixes it in the public beta. And also one important thing is that I know the latest iPads don't have the home button, but actually Apple still have some of the modern iPads with A12 processors such as the iPad Air and iPad Mini. Also the $300 iPad which still have a home button. But honestly, the problem is that after updating to the iPadOS 14, when you press the home button to go to home, it is actually doing a split second of latency. I don't know why it is happening. I have actually reported that to Apple. Apple actually encourages its customers to use more and more gestures, and to go home you should actually go to swipe up like this. But honestly, the home button is still there and it should perform well. That's my opinion. Actually, I found this bug, that is the widgets on all the things in the iPad are not actually spaced equally. From designer's perspective, that should not happen. All the widgets in the iPad screen should actually have equal spacing in them. I should share some screenshots if you want, but I have reported it to Apple. Let's see what happens. So these are some of the small things that I actually noticed in my iPad developer beta. Let's see if Apple fixes it or not. Until then, hope to see you in my next video. And if you have any doubts, let me ask in the comments. I will sure take a note of that and reply you back. So that's it for now guys, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care guys.